key final LV Cup game, well, hopefully not the final LV Cup game, and you go into it kind of knowing that you have to win. Does that make it more of a challenge?
I think obviously Northampton coming down here is a challenge in itself. You know, in any game, whether it be the Premiership, A-League, you know, all the LV, you know, we know what we've got to do. We know we've talked about in the week. Obviously, the key things obviously going to give us that performance, and if we can, you know, put together the things that we did against Bath, you know, we created a lot of chances, and maybe finish one or two of them on Saturday. We can put ourselves in good stead to obviously put pressure on Harlequins on Sunday.
Are you a little bit frustrated that it's out of your hands though? Because obviously whatever it's up to Harlequins. If they win, then it doesn't matter what you do.
Obviously, going into the Bath of the weekend, it would have been great for the club to obviously get our first win away, and we came away a little bit frustrated that the fact that we created so many chances we didn't take them. I think going into this weekend, we just got to solely think about ourselves and how we're going to perform, and if we get a result, that'll put pressure on Quins on Sunday, and obviously they've got to go away to the Ospreys in Bridgend, which is a tough place to go and get a result there. So yes, we would like it to be in our hands, but obviously it isn't, and we're just going to put in the performance this weekend to push us on.
Looking at the LV Cup, you've given opportunities to other players who perhaps don't normally start in the Premiership and in Europe, and this is possibly their last chance to impress in a first team situation, isn't it?
For the guys coming into the squad this weekend, they've been looking to obviously get some game time. They're going to obviously put the performances they've done all year, and the guys obviously that are coming in, they're professional guys. They train well all season. Some of them might be the last game for them at the club, but they'll wear the shirt with pride and go out there and play with real intensity, which we've asked for them all year.
Is there more pressure then on this squad? If you've got some fringe players playing, as there probably will be this weekend, is there more pressure on them because it could be an opportunity for them, the last opportunity, to impress on Rob Baxter and yourself that they should be picked every week?
I don't think it's pressure. I think any game that you put an extra shirt on, you're going to want to play well and put in a performance. I think it's an opportunity for this group of players to go out there and put in performance for themselves individually and for the club. So I think obviously in any sport you play in, there is going to be pressure, but I think the guys will thrive on it. And come Saturday when we go out and play Northampton here, it'll be a hell of a crowd. It's going to be a great day.
And Northampton, obviously, you've got a bit of history here, obviously the last day of the season and those sorts of things, and it'd be great to try and get a victory over them here at Sandy Park.
Yeah, they're a strong side. I think whatever side they come down with, whether they go full strength or they mix the squad up a little bit, they're going to be a strong side. So we know what we have to do. We've talked about all the key things that we need to focus on, and we've talked about this week about focusing on ourselves and the things that we've delivered up at Bath, and we can obviously bring into this weekend. So Northampton are a very good side. They'll come down here. They'll be strong. We know what we've got to do, and we'll get stuck into them.
Is it difficult to prepare for a side when you don't know whether they'll put out a full strength team or whether they'll put out a mix and match opposition? Because I guess if you played Northampton in the Premiership and there was no Six Nations on, you'd probably be able to pick maybe 12 of their starting 15.
I think if you look at, when you analyse sides, they show the same structure. I think obviously you have different personnel in key positions and so forth, but we know how they're going to play, the patterns they're going to play like they would with us. They'll analyse us in the week, and they'll look at it whether we're in the Premiership or in the LV. They'll look at the structure we'll play. So we know what structure they'll play. The individuals that they'll pick obviously will be different around obviously how they mix up their squad, but we have a clear picture of how they're going to come down here and like they will with us.
When you look around the squad, especially last week, there was a couple of debuts there for Watersoni, for Kai. They did very well. The youngsters in particular, you were immensely proud of after the game.
Yeah, for Votter it's been a long process. Obviously we've been looking to get him here and into the club for a long time now. For him to come in and put the performance that he did in was outstanding. Obviously this week now, the buzz around the club with those young guys and the senior guys playing has been really exciting. I think for this group of players, it's another opportunity to put themselves in front of a home Exeter crowd, and what a great place to play. I think the performance they put in last week, with the Jack Knowles and the Henry Slades of our younger guys, would be real good and interesting.
Obviously, moving it forward though, it's a chance again for more senior guys to impress. And there's a big period of games coming up now, starting next week with Sale. You know, I know this one's first, but Sale's going to be huge.
Yeah, obviously we have rotated the squad around in these two games. I think a lot of the guys, last week and this week, will put their hands up for selection. Some of the senior guys come back, like Kai Horseman coming back from injury. Had a good 80 minutes on the weekend. Obviously Votu coming in and the performance that he put in this weekend. Hopefully this weekend will push him on as well. So I think, even though we have mixed the squad up, it's an opportunity for the young guys and the senior guys to really hold their hand up for selection. And I think they'll go out this weekend and show that with the intensity that they'll play with.
Looking at Rob's programme notes for this week, he's not getting too panicked. People look at results and think you're on a terrible run, but literally when you analyse the games, it's small margins in a lot of them, and you could come out with victories in probably half of them, maybe more. I
think it's probably the story of the season. If you looked at how close the results are, right through the Premiership and in all the competitions that we've been involved in, we've been there and thereabouts. I think the most pleasing thing as coaches, I think, and as a squad, we know where we're moving and where we're moving to, and like you said, it just takes one or two things to click. If you look at Harlequin and say 2 or 3 years ago, they were pushing through with their offloading game and what they were doing around their attack, and obviously they've come through with that now, and I think we're at a period now where we're excited about where we are, where we know we have got things to work on, but if we can keep just doing the little things, keep working hard, and keeping our work ethic around the squad, I think as coaches and as players, it's exciting, and the results will come.
Thank you.